It looks like it's the same again today.
Just how we like it. Been very unpredictable.
Pol Espargaro hails from Granollers, of course, just down the road, round the corner here. Used to be able to hear the bikes from a couple of rounds ago. That confidence is there. Is he going to be victorious again today, or will there be a fairy tale story? Aleix Espargaro, Antonio Jimenez, his crew chief on the right, 17th in the World Championship, of course, home race for Matt. You have to feel at the moment that anything inside the top 8 would actually be a bonus. Our virtual fan wall over at turn 10. Thank you to all of our fans. Give us a wave. You're all in our memories. The number 39. Banyai. Those piercing eyes of Cal. You never know what's in store sometimes with Cal Crutchlow. On a day like today where it's unpredictable as well, second on the grid, got the pace. If the Yamaha can run its own lines, they're in good shape. The question is,
both front and rear will drop massive, so lap time is gonna be slower, but you know, it's difficult for everyone.
Miller and Zarco coming from row 2 with that start device. There's Stan.
And let's see what's happened. Of course, the starting will be important, and we are in the middle of many KTMs, Ducati.
Then 6th is Johan Zarco, Miller in 4th, sandwiched in between them, Maverick Vinales on that second row. Just a quick one on Maverick Vinales. Race coming up, the breaking news on the right that we brought you yesterday. Mario Marigali actually is on the grid.
To probably less stress, a bit less the front tire, but it's difficult now to have a forecast. Anyway.
Maybe Alex Marquez, just because they got more support in hard braking. But anyway,
great chance if you look at his pace in FP4 yesterday.
Yamahas have not won more than 4 races in a season since 2000. Genuinely no idea.
And the weather's just thrown such a curveball as well. Jack Miller, a big stoppy on the grid as he tries to get some...
Revs up, and we are off. A good start from Morbidelli from Pol. Rossi did not get away well. Here comes Miller on the Ducati, but what a...
At the second corner.
Here comes Rossi up the inside of Jack Miller. Miller left the door open there then, so it's Morbidelli. And
Dovizioso was obviously pointing the finger of blame at Johan Zarco. We'll try and get a replay of that, but another. When he got in this position in Misano, he never looked back. He got an absolutely sensational start off the line. He could not have made that any better. Petrucci up the inside. Because he was blinded by Zarco, he would not have seen Zarco reacting to Petrucci, and that's why Dovizioso was blamed.
But championship-wise, this helps him a lot. There is Jack Miller then, number 43.
It's all ifs, buts, whats and maybes, but you can't help but think where Franco Morbidelli would be in this championship. Sensational start by Andrea Dovizioso, and that's what put him, unfortunately, in that position to be punted out after the mistake. Joan Mir again, 1.2 seconds, and here's Maverick Vinales at the moment behind a freight train. He's just ahead of Alex Marquez.
Just up ahead of him there, Fabio Quartararo right now on the tail of Valentino Rossi.
Yeah, Mir.
He pulls to the inside and he goes through into second place. Will he get the Yamaha stop? They're both going to go. Then Jarvis, the piercing eyes. He'll want all 3 of his men on the podium here today. Still
to try and make any progress into Joan Mir at all. The gap between Mir is over 2 seconds, so there's a lot of work to do for Alex Rins to get it. What's happening here, Steve, which is quite a surprise, Mir's not got the pace of that top 4. He's getting dropped here, Joan Mir.
It gets even better for him, and he is closing on his teammate. Into turn 5, he stays put. He's up by his teammate, and he goes through into the lead here in Barcelona.
So the onus now on Morbidelli. What has traction control setup dialed in? Who's got the best engine braking as well? That's also going to be critical.
Pol Espargaro get past Cal Crutchlow. He's in 15th place still.
Yeah, this has been a humbling day for Maverick Vinales. What a dent this is in his championship challenge. But there's just nothing between the top 3 men at all. All of them doing 1:43s, barely a tenth or 100th between them. Pol Espargaro
5 tenths between Morbidelli and Rossi. Here's Cal Crutchlow, who's closing in now on Aleix Espargaro, a couple of tenths, but then give him that edge at the end. Or is it because they genuinely believe that they're in a bit of bother?
Time his lead over 3 tenths per second, although Morbidelli's strong on the brakes into turn 10, isn't he? He's gained some of that time back as we come into the...
Has he just given himself a bit too much to do into turn 1?
That's how much you've got to push right on the limit.
Right. He has crashed out of his home Grand Prix. He went across the line.
Mir was half a second faster on that previous lap, so Miller looks like...
Oh, mistake, and almost down, he saved it. Take much, I don't think, for Mir to go through on Jack Miller.
The gap now, get the best drive, did he, at the final corner? but as soon as he started winding it up 4th, 5th and 6th gear, he was able to stretch Rossi already in the first 2 splits on this lap number 15. Lap number 15 where we are.
Valentino Rossi's hopes of victory and the 200th podium unfortunately disappear. It's a turn 2 crash. Change of direction and the front just gives way.
Him on the brakes into turn 10, did he? Or was it no, Miller just made the mistake and got in hot?
Maverick Vinales has finally made a spot up. He's up into 12th place ahead of Aleix Espargaro, but Bagnaia, although Bagnia's battling away again, this is the best we've seen of Danilo all season.
Because he's now within striking distance of Franco Morbidelli. A case of what might have been then for Valentino Rossi.
To get over that one, there was no warning whatsoever, was there?
You know, it's that left-hander, that treacherous turn 2. Look what the fans on the virtual 2. The left-handers now are critical, absolutely critical, because the tyre wear and the cool temperatures mean turns
then on Jack Miller out front, 3.3 seconds the lead.
Years. Kenny Roberts Jr. back here in 2000, 2 decades ago, the last time a Suzuki was on the podium in Trins at Bay. Rins coming up the inside of Miller on the brakes into turn 10, and he's got the job done. He'll just park it in the middle of the corner, make sure this risk. We're letting temperature drop out of those tyres, and it would be pretty embarrassing if he was to blow it from.
For Fabio, here's a slow-mo replay of the race leader. He would love so much to get himself back to the top step. It's been a difficult...
The 42s on that last circuit, Mir much quicker, 41.6 from him in MotoGP.
Quartararo looks pretty comfortable still. RSRT man Fabio Quartararo. Will his teammate though be joining him on the podium? Side he goes then. Franco Morbidelli is now out of podium positions altogether.
Can you believe it?
And Alex Rins, as ever with Suzuki's, it's the late show.
Yeah, Quartararo would be dropping like a stone a bit further back. They're all roaring around the world. It's been for the second half of the race at least.
And wins here in Catalunya ahead of the 2 Suzukis. Brilliant job from them.
It's a bit funny one guy's way, but you see at the end they all ride on eggs. The soft tyre
at least.
It's 3 podiums on the trot for Joan Mir, and great to see Alex Rins on the podium for the first time this.
Because there was great recovery from 13th position to finish 3rd after the miss.
Flying at the top of the World Championship, that's a great scene as well. What a beautiful tribute that is.
Yeah, turn 13. The 13th different rider to stand on the podium this season.
If I lose, I have to eat the foam off my microphone.
Well, at least the foam's safe.